In modern times, it is traditionally thought that Roman Catholicism was the only form of Christianity until the Protestant Reformation. But history shows that Bible believers have always existed outside the Roman Church and were hated by Rome because of it. A history of these groups can be found in the book The Pilgrim Church by E.H. Broadbent. Broadbent shows that what these groups had in common was that they did not submit to the Roman papacy, and they sought to follow God's word as their final authority. The Albigenses were one of these ancient groups, and with them were the Waldenses.
The Waldenses, as a Bible-believing people, actually go back, although this is disputed by some Bible critics, they nevertheless go back to the 2nd century, and it appears that they had what was in effect an old Latin Bible called the Italic version as far back as the 2nd century, and they were known as the Vaudois, which means the people of the valleys. Rome persecuted the Waldenses again and again through the centuries for over 1,000 years and tried to wipe them out. But because by the grace of God they were located in an area which was easily defended, the mountains of northern Italy, they were able at least to cling on to survival for centuries.
The Waldenses' commitment to the Scriptures was legendary. Their early Bibles were in Latin, but in the 12th century, their most famous leader, Peter Waldo, would translate the Bible into what was called the Romant language. Romant was a combination of Middle English and Old French. Yet Waldo's translation was rejected by the Church of Rome. Pope Alexander III expelled him and his followers, while Pope Lucius III pronounced a papal curse on them.
They were persecuted, their records were burned, destroyed, their names slandered. Our true church history, though, must ever seek to find this silver stream of believers that were never a part of Rome. They were in the valleys of the Piedmont between northern Italy and southern France. In the south of France, they went by different names: the Waldenses, the Albigenses, the Cathars, the Donatists.
Yet in spite of Rome's efforts to destroy them, the ancient faith of the Pilgrim Church would prevail, and their example would influence the great men of faith that would follow. When the Reformation occurred in the 16th century, Rome would accuse Martin Luther, saying he only renewed the heresies of the Waldenses and Albigenses, which had long ago been condemned. But before the time of Luther, the faith of the Pilgrim Church would shine forth in the man who would be known as the morning star of the Protestant Reformation.